really the best half for the team, kind of a carryover maybe from the last game, but and then what you talked about at halftime, and maybe also.
No, I would disagree. I mean, I wouldn't say it was a bad first half. I'd give credit to Elon.
Right, they brought their A game.
Yeah, I mean, I think they executed very well those first several wars, made shots, got off to a great start. I don't want to say, we were lackadaisical defensively. Like, they were executing. They were stepping up, making shots. And, at the other end, we were scoring as well, so it was kind of like, boom, all of a sudden it's 14-14 in a split second. And then I think we were generating open shots, and they weren't falling. And to their credit, they were doing a good job of limiting our second shots, and we're a very good offensive rebounding team. And, and then it got to the point where shots weren't falling, and I think it's that, do you want to give up a good shot for a great shot? Because they were open looks, and then you don't want to tell your guys, don't shoot that open look. Now all of a sudden they get tentative, so you don't want to do that. What I did tell them is I think we need to play a little bit more on the attack. We want to attack the basket and touch the paint and generate shots that way. I felt like we were settling for the first pretty good shot and not getting a great one. But again, you give them credit because they were limiting our second chance baskets. And then the second half, I think the tide turned a little bit in that regard. Our offensive rebounding percentage went from 25% in the first half to 46% in the second. Number one team in the country rebounds at 38%. So I give our guys a lot of credit for continuing to attack the glass. And then we shared the ball. I mean, we had 20 assists on 27 turnovers. That's an unbelievable statistic. That makes you very, very, very happy as a coach.
Very seldom the team shoots 45 threes.
Is that what we shot?
Yes.
45 threes? I mean, I'd go back and look at them, and I'd say the majority of them were pretty darn good, except for the one that Dalton Bolin shot with a minute left, up 13, on a kick-ahead three in transition. But that's Dalton Bolin. You know what I mean? He let it go, and that's the old, Skip Prosser, my mentor, would say, it better go in.
Yeah.
And guess what? It went in. But, no, I mean, you got to do what the game tells you. That's an old Skip Prosser as well. The windows, you can't help it, and that's the other big part of the story of the game too, is the atmosphere that we have now at TD Arena, which is worthy of a top 25 team. It's crazy. It's insane. My mom's sending me pictures coming in of the line wrapping around of students trying to get into the game, and I hate the inconvenience for them, but it warms my heart to know that there's that type of passion trying to get in. Then I looked up, and they're packed in there like sardines, and the student section wraps around the tunnels. The rest of the arena was electric, big moments. They got loud. I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome, man. It fires me up. So big shout out to our city for making that environment pretty darn special.
Friday, first practice after the UNCW game, what's the first thing you say? What do you say to the guys? What did you say?
I mean, it's what I tell you all the time, and it's a really boring interview. We don't change. We don't change. I thought our preparation, because we had to be off Thursday because of the compliance, you could have one day off, all that. So we knew we only had a one-day prep. Film sessions were elite, like they've been all year long. Practice for about 60 minutes. Obviously, we got to be smart about the wear and tear on bodies because we play a lot of games in a short amount of time. Attention to detail was great. This morning, shoot-around was crisp, and I thought we played well. You got to make sure you always realize that, we're going to get everybody's best shot because of where we are in the standings and things like that. And then I think the second thing is I always remind people that Billy Taylor wants to win too, and he's a really good coach, and they got good young players, and they got a good system, and if you're not on it, they're going to. So.
Do you talk about the best shot at all that you're going to get from everybody now? Does that even come up anymore, or not? Win streak, national ranking?
No, we don't really talk about that. I mean, everything is about those three things that I say all the time: relentless effort, competitive excellence, and power of the unit. Competitive excellence is you're ready when your name's called and when the stakes are high because you train that way all the time. That's it. It's if I said one word, here is something for you. If I said one word more than any over the last 48 hours or whatever it is since the UNCW game, it's consistent. You know, I don't know if Nick Saban said this, but Eddie DeChellis, who's the coach at Navy, who's a really good friend of mine. Head coaches talk all the time and share nuggets of and Eddie said he attributed this to Nick Saban. I think everybody attributes everything to Nick Saban. Like, you say a quote and it's Abraham Lincoln. Like, he probably never saw it. But he said that if consistency was a place, it wouldn't be very crowded. I thought that was really good, and I shared that with our guys. And that goes back to our core and our mantra of trying to be great every day in the next film session. We got to do the same thing tomorrow. Now, we got to be smart in what we do physically, because guys just played a lot of minutes today. But we got to get ready for another really well-coached team. Every conference game is going to be a war, like tonight was. And give our guys credit and give them credit. I thought it was a really good college basketball game.
And in a tight turnaround, you get, what, 1 day in between now and Monday with William & Mary? Kind of tell us just the adjustment to getting ready for that and what you're expecting from William & Mary.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm the type where I don't watch one iota of tape of the next opponent until the next game's over. Now, on a short turnaround, that makes it hard because there is zero sleep that happens between now and when I walk into the film session for the guys the first time I address them since the game. The way we do our scouts, so the staff divvies up the scouts throughout the season. So, you know, I'm trying to think who has it. I think it's Brian Cloman. He's been working on William & Mary, you know, for the last several weeks behind the scenes, so that, you know, as soon as I walk out of here, he walks in, he gives me his notes, he gives me the keys to the game, he gives me my computer with all of the breakdowns on it, the offensive long in every game, and then they set me up for success because it's all done. All I got to do is study it. So we'll be efficient with that, and then we got to be really efficient with what we do physically, because we got to be, you know, Coach Frost used to say all the time, you'd rather him be fresh than ready, right? You as a coach sometimes, like, you stare at the ceiling at night and you're thinking, well, like, we got to go over this, we got to go over this, we got to do this, but sometimes it's information overload and it's diminishing returns. You got to make sure they get to the jump circle and they're eager and ready and energetic. So that's part of the challenge in a one-day turnaround as well.